Redo the video. Hello. My camera's all messed up. I don't know why. Well, I'm not going to touch it, otherwise it's going to go out. Not expecting any full screen time. Oh, okay. Let's see. Should probably set this one up. I do have autofocus on this one, but turns out it doesn't quite want to focus on the miniatures. Is this guess the mini? Is this guess the mini? I don't know what you're saying, sorry. Okay. Now, if only you would focus on the proper thing. Oh, now it did. Okay. Yeah, so whenever there's a black primer on the mini, it almost feels like the camera's not having a good time. I guess if I make it a bit brighter, we can see some details. I guess that's good. So let's lock that in. Sorry for the wiggling camera. Starting to see things more clearly. Yeah, so I have to get some work done. So I wanted to paint this one. How did you find me? Since forever. So I finally base coated him, and yeah, I'm going to do some pre-shading on this one. I talked about it a couple of times, and I also want to get some work done on these guys. I thought about doing one of the other dudes in there. The Jesus Christ, names are hard.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Andrew, thanks a lot for joining the Patreon. Welcome. Don't forget to join the Discord. If you have any questions, feel free to just ask there and enjoy the videos. Thanks a lot for the support. You managed to get a Mendrix? Yeah, I mean, Games Workshop sent them to me. I am on the 40k list for review copies, right? What are the other dudes called? Jesus Christ.
How did you find me?
I think I need to get tested for some brain damage. Am I an idiot? Oh, Night Lords. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I thought about doing painting a Night Lord, but let me pick it up.
How did you find me?
I'm not doing German videos. So this guy, obviously I need to paint this one. And I think I'm going to do a squad for Golden Demon. This one being the leader, and then just using the upgrade sprue to maybe just kit bash a couple of because obviously this is a Primaris Marine, so the idea was to also use Primaris Marines for the size upgrade, or I'll just do this one in Primaris scale and do the other ones in just normal Space Marines or normal Chaos Space Marine scale, just so that he stands out a bit more with the wings and all that. Yeah, and just go a bit crazy with the... So probably not going to do wings on the other ones. Or maybe tiny wings. But I'm probably gonna do jump modules from Horus Heresy. And yeah, redo them in all the spiky stuff that Chaos Space Marines have, and then just use these helmets. Because they look rather nice, right? And I mean, it was funny that people were saying the wings on my helmet are just too big. And then these came out and then they're even bigger. I mean, just as big or bigger. That was kind of funny. But yeah, I also like the... Where is it? The hooded one? Oh, up here. I like that one. So I'm probably also going to use that one. I will see. But yeah, I want to start on the Mandrake, really. Simply because, yeah, they're going to have dark skin, and I want to play around a bit with the how would you call it, like the energy that they siphon from some Shadow Realm. Are you going to be in Essen? I want to go. I don't know if I manage to get some Golden Demon stuff or some Golden Demon entries done, I'll try to be there. If I can't get anything done, I'll probably not be there, but we'll see. So let me zoom out a bit more here. Yeah, but the problem with German content is that you get about 15% of the audience that you have if you were making English videos. So it makes no sense to make German content.
Nice to meet you.
So, first live stream for Miles. Hello, Gerald. Hey, Booker. Hey, Felix. Hey, Lorenzo. Saka is not joining. Hey, Ben. Hey, Dylan. Hey, Felix. Hey, Volgo. Hey, Sim. Hey, Sofarukus. Just getting the awkwardness out of the way of me pronouncing names all wrong. It's like Senator highlighting, but with light. I mean, that's one thing, right? You could... So I can't quite show that because I can't simulate a light source that's coming from there. That's the way I'm holding the miniature. But you can hold it under a lamp, and then you see exactly where you need to put your reflections, like on the scythe here. So yeah, if you just put it under a lamp like this and take a picture, then you have a reference for Senator light without having to do Senator priming. Were you a race car driver? No, I was not. Who are you thinking of? I think that's... Who was driving race cars on Twitch? Forgot who it was. Some nice heads, indeed. Dominus Nox. I love the video making this guy. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I always waited for an occasion to paint it. And I think with the new upgrade sprue and Golden Demon being around the corner, maybe that's a good way to start, or a good opportunity to start. Is this a commission work? No, I don't do commissions. I accepted 2 commissions in my life and I sent them both back. I can't do it. Hey, Galaran. Right. So the idea behind this one. My camera setup's a bit wonky for some reason. Okay, I need to push this up and get my glasses because I'm blind, at least up close. Hey, Giovanni. Best wishes for you and your YouTube thumbnails. Thank you. Mille grazie. Okay, so this is good. Yeah, so we just need to focus here. Kind of stupid because I have to change my setup around a lot when I just want to film overhead. Thought about just using the other camera, but it's a bit of a drag either way. So sorry for that, but I think we're good now. Or are we? Yes, we are. Every time you stream, I have to tune in to show you love. Thank you, Mr. Bubbles. I need to start streaming so I can get my hands on these early. I mean, if you think it's that easy, then go for it. I didn't get on the list until 2019, until I placed 3rd in the Ever Chosen, which was a worldwide competition. And then on top of that, I had 100,000 YouTube subscribers just around that time. I don't think without that I would have gotten it. So it was a bit of a... Yeah, I was kind of happy to get into the program. It was not as simple as to just start streaming. Right, so I need to think about what colors I want to give him. One thing I'm super unsure about is what the hell is going on with the backside. Definitely some other material than the front side, because this is some stitched together material and I'm guessing it's supposed to be skin. But the backside, there's no stitches. So what to do there? Question mark. I kind of want to try a more greenish tint on the back here. Greenish gray, and then the front maybe skin. I don't know, we'll see. Whoops. Something else I could do as more of a brownish color. Brown gray maybe. Let's see. I'll just paint on a couple of colors. I haven't quite figured out the scheme yet, but it's okay. We can just start and adjust on the fly, I guess.
Nice to meet you.
Swanky Moonies. Oh no, don't tell me. Oh, come on. Okay, we're back. Jesus Christ. We need to darken this a tiny bit, otherwise the colors won't be visible. Yeah, so I don't know, let's start with the screen. I'm a bit unsure about whether or not if green is going to be the color to go for. Because I kind of want to do the hair purple. Or at least with a purple tint. That brush is not good. I'm waiting for my box. Yeah, I heard there was a lot of stuff being sold out, or a lot of stuff being sold out. Not that much stock, and it has been sold out quickly. Actually, this might be okay. Maybe we're going to add some shade color. That's more in line with the rest of the colors. At least German monetizes relatively well. I don't know what you mean. German monetizes relatively well, but if you only get 10% of the views, then you need I don't even know what you're trying to say. Like, German ads are paying more. They would need to pay like ×9 more than English or, you know, US ads. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if we talk about income, the ad income from YouTube is not what keeps the lights on here. I can tell you that much. Slow odds, but I think you'll make painting that night or the video. That dude is the coolest. If I do it for Golden Demon, it's not gonna be a dedicated video. It's only going to be like documenting the process. I'll probably do a PDF, but you know, because then I can paint the steps and maybe take 1 or 2 in between photos during the steps, and then afterwards, and then make a PDF about it. But I'm definitely not going to make a painting video because I can't paint for competitions like that. For painting for the camera, I need to be like, I'm going to sit down like this, having my hands, you know, on the armrests, and moving my lights back and just stippling away for hours and hours. It's the, how to say, the Golden Demon painting process and techniques are not, people don't want to see videos about that. And the thing is, it's kind of explained in a 15 minutes video. I already have a video about, you know, the techniques that I use for high-end painting. I already have a video about that, and the rest is just switching colors and maybe here and there thinking about what shadow color to use and all of that, and initial color composition, and planning the entry and so on. And that's gonna be interesting, but the actual painting is not interesting because I'm just gonna do the same thing for hundreds of hours over and over again. No one's going to watch a video about that. But yeah, I mean, since again, I kind of want to go to Golden Demon just for the fun of it, and I already started documenting the process of finding what miniatures to paint. It doesn't really matter if I win anything or not, and in the end I'll just have a video like documenting a couple of months that should at least get some views. Maybe not. But it's gonna be fun to make that video. But yeah, that's what I mean by documenting it. I'm not going to do step by step. I don't know, we'll see. Some parts, yes. Most parts, probably not. But yeah, never say never. I mean, who knows, maybe I do one wing and then I kind of realize, okay, that stuff can actually be filmed quite nicely, and then I'll do a wing tutorial, for example. But definitely not a YouTube video, because no one's going to watch a technique video where I just do the same thing over and over. I mean, obviously when I say no one, we always have to think about whether or not it can get to at least like 60,000 views, because that's what I need to get on the channel, really. Just while I'm making a Wiener Schnitzel, your Twitch notification popped up. I actually ate Schnitzel today. I was too lazy to well, not too lazy, I was rather too busy. I had to get some stuff fixed in the house, and I couldn't really go out, and I didn't have anything at home, so I just ordered food. And I also knew I wanted to stream, so I just quickly ordered something, because otherwise I would have to make food, and then it would have been even later. It's so hard to paint for other people, even harder to paint for money. Yeah, commission painting, I can't do it. It's how to say, I could maybe do it, you know, with the quick techniques, but people wanted me to do high-end paint jobs, and I can't do that for commissions. I just can't. And it's obviously a me thing. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to say that high-end commission painters are doing anything wrong or whatever. Disclaimer. Oh, I was wondering why my chat was standing still and I was not scrolled down, so I'll just go through the questions quickly. Looking for inspiration to make a Chaos Dragon from AOS. Ooh, for what? From the... Okay, hold on. Inspiration for making a Chaos Dragon from the Ionos Cryptborn. I mean... Chaos Dragon, just...
Nice to meet you.
Just give him lots of Chaos Armor. I don't know. Have you tried Googling Chaos Dragon artwork? I'm kind of sure that you'll get more inspiration through that than through me, because I would just, so personally I would just put on a lot of chaos symbols, like create give him more armor and maybe a second head or something like that. Just give him really thick armor and do the old spikification thing that they're doing nowadays with chaos, like spikes and trims everywhere. Okay. What putty do I use? So I have Super Sculpt now. Why is it always... Super Sculpey is the polymer clay that I've been using to scratch build and design figures, but the other one is Magic Sculpt without a T. But I guess that's just the European version of Magic Sculpt with a T. Yeah, I use that. And also use Milliput for some things. But the Magic Sculpt is kind of a mixture of, or a mix between Milliput and green stuff. It has all the right properties that Milliput has, but it's not water soluble. So that's a nice touch. Okay, do some cleanup. So I'll use a couple of skin tones. I know that's not really how skin works. Once it's peeled off, it looks different. But I'll use a skin tone and then mix in a couple of colors, like grays and browns. Hello, sorry for bothering. I want to offer promotion. Jesus Christ. I would rather paint the right Java test frame. Sorry, I don't know what you're saying. Not to undermine effort, but put into social media and YouTube. What are you trying to say, acrylic Viking? So any way to make orb-like flames into something more realistic? Make orb-like flames into something more realistic? I don't know what you're asking. Am I stupid, or are these questions just not answerable? I'm really trying to understand. Oh Jesus, I don't have an alert for gifted subs. But look here, thanks a lot for gifting 5 subs. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for the support. If you're trying to...
First, I would like to just get to know you.
Wait, was that on YouTube? I didn't know you can do that. Well, thanks a lot. Well, there you go. Lots of new members.
First, I would like to just get to know you.
There's a couple of videos for this supporter tier on YouTube, so go check out the channel. If
First, I would like to just get to know you.
It's going to play 5 times. I didn't know that. Yeah, so go check that out and say thanks to Luke here.
First,
what music track?
I would like to just get to know you.
So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you want to paint an orb.
First, I would like to just get to know you.
And want to make it look credible, then you can watch my Necron video, I painted like
me?
a large round, like a gem thing, and I explain how I create some depth through using black. You know, you have the reflective parts from top, and then the colored reflections. It's all explained in that video. That come from below, or that go out below on the underside of that orb, and then in the middle you have that black sphere that creates some depth. That was explained really poorly, but basically you're just trying to create depth so it looks hollow, and you can do that
Nice to meet you.
Applying black in the middle parts and not going too bright. So anyway, we had that. If I go to bed now, will there be a finished photo?
Nice
of the
to meet you.
No, definitely not. I'm not going to finish this guy during the live stream. I'm just basically, what I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to...
How did you find me?
Find a good scheme and good colors and so on. I don't have a skin tone here. Jesus, hold on. Skin tones. Oh, this might work. Sorry, give me a second. I never really used skin tones until I started to make content and painting tutorials. Before that, I was always just mixing it from other colors, but to make it more understandable,
The most important thing is money.
I switched to skin tones. Seas? What are you trying to say? But thanks a lot, Rowboat. Thanks for the support. Thanks a lot. It really helps. It really helps a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you, thank you. Right, so I said I'm going to use skin tones, but you know, there's cork, and then beige red, for example. Those are, I'd say, skin tone adjacent colors. And then we'll just use highlight flash. And I'll just mix a couple of colors into these. Let's start with just a pure cork, maybe. If you do skin on the front, will you make each panel a different skin tone? Yeah, probably. Just to have a bit more variety, and then maybe give it a really similar shadow color, maybe, to tie it together. I haven't thought really hard on this scheme yet, but I want to start without thinking too much, because like I said, I'm working on my Gold Demon stuff, and that means I have to do a lot of planning and thinking up front.
How did you find me?
And I just really hate doing that for a large amount of times, or at least I want to switch it up now and then. That color is not particularly good at coverage. Or doesn't have good coverage. YouTube unsubbed me from your channel. Yeah, it happened to me for a couple of channels in the past. Hasn't happened in a long while to me, but it used to happen to me a while back. Any plans to paint some of the new crude minis? Yeah, but I didn't get to it. Didn't get to it yet. But I'm gonna paint this one. And probably this one. Well, I'll just do...
The most important thing is money.
Oh, wow.
No worries, mate. I should be painting for a tourney, but OW2 is distracting. Your videos are amazing.
Overwatch 2? Is that a thing? Oh wait, they just scrapped the what's it called? Like the non-PvP, the PvE campaign. I wish I could get addicted to games again. I mean, I don't, but I just don't get addicted anymore. For some reason. Like every time I play, I want to paint instead. But yeah, thanks a lot.
The most important thing is money.
Again.
I picked up the Warcry Mind Steel as Spharanx. I am colorblind and have a really hard time finding color schemes outside of stealing others, lol. Thoughts on how to come up with something that works well? Great channel, smile.
Ooh, that question is so hard for me to answer because I don't quite know how it feels to be colorblind. Maybe someone else has ideas, but the thing that I thought about was using the triad system. For example, there's a couple of painting paint manufacturers that have a triad system for shadow, midtone, and highlights. I need to leave this paint to dry. God damn it. So that would at least, I don't know, would that fix anything? No, probably not, because you're asking about color scheme. Wow, that question really beats me. Quark is a skin tone, it's just a tree skin, not human skin. Wow, yeah, maybe someone else has an idea. I'm gonna be honest, I unfortunately have no idea. Music's pretty rad. It's White Bet audio. That's called.
How did you find me?
Recent Instagram posts have been really good. I'll probably be signing up to your Patreon off the back of these. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's Taurus Warrior. That was quite a bit of work to get those out, and I think they have a total of, I mean, between, maybe altogether they have, no they don't. They have about 500,000 views. So I was pretty happy about that.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm glad that I got a couple of conversions into, you know, YouTube subscribers and members and patrons. Whoa, Jesus, why am I dropping just left and right? What month was that? That was not March, that was February. February? I almost killed myself working during that month. I think I uploaded 4 YouTube videos and 1 Patreon video and all of these shorts and all of that. That's a nice color. So I just used, what did I use? I wish I remember. That was beige red with just gray mixed in. What kind of gray? That was gray. No, it was just graphite. Okay, graphite. Okay, that's looking nice. So I'll just keep doing that. It looks nice if you just start.
How did you find me?
and do a transparent layer up there and then just drag down the pigments. But yeah, so like this. Just having the black shine through makes it look interesting. Yeah, again, sorry, I'm just trying to find a couple of colors that look nicely. Coverage is not particularly great, but I guess we'll have to live with that. Glad I got my order in. Now I have to be patient. Keep up the good work. You're the best. Thank you, Gabor. Why did you return the 2 commissions you did? Why can't you do commissions? I don't know. I just, it feels, I don't know. Didn't even know how to put it into words. It just feels bad. It feels like, have you ever done some kind of work that you absolutely did not want to do, and you, if you could, you would just bail, you would just run away and not do it, but obviously you can't, because you're getting paid for it, or I don't know, you would get fired, or yeah, so basically you don't want to do that work, but you also can't run away. Well, in this case I could run away by just giving the money back. That's the feeling that I get. It's just work that I accepted that I ultimately didn't want to do. It felt horrible. I guess part of it is, I mean, I have massive imposter syndrome, and part of it was that
Nice to meet you.
Taking money for something that I feel like I can't quite do. It always felt worse, or you know, it didn't feel good what I was painting, or did not feel good about what I was painting, and I felt like I was stealing money from people. So that has been one aspect of it, and the other, I guess that's maybe why it felt so bad. I couldn't quite tell though. It's in hindsight, right, that I think that was part of the problem. But I think that really was a part of the problem. Thinking about it now. The revenue you get depends partly on the language of your channel. With the same number of views, you get 10 times more money if your channel is in English than if it is in Spanish. Yeah, I get it. It's also, of course, it also depends on the niche that you're in, like finance and stuff also gets like 20 times more. Why is music escalating? Just use AI to translate and voice you can re-upload for every language. I mean, I constantly get people that want to translate my videos, but the rates that they're asking is usually more than I make off of that YouTube video, so, and that's just one language. I'll just use the same idea and I'll just mix gray into all of these colors and tone this down a bit, because this is really too intense.
The most important thing is money.
Are you ever tired of painting, and how do you find joy again?
Thanks a lot, Janos, for the 5 Schweizer Franken. Thank you. I mean, sure, I get tired of painting. Usually it's when I'm trying to get some painting done for a YouTube video. For example, when I'm trying to to create the video within a week, because I somewhat want to stay on a 1 week upload schedule. It never works, but I'm generally trying to aim for that. When I start a video, I want to be done in a week.
How did you find me?
So that I can do something else. And then I'm sitting there and it's already Thursday, for example, and I'm still not done, and then I'm stressing, and those are the times when I get tired of painting. What do? I just paint something where I have absolutely zero pressure. So, and I would probably never film that, because then again I feel like I can't paint again. I'll just paint something and use colors that I never used before, and I'm not worried about ruining the mini and all of that, and just completely switch off my brain and just slap some paint around, no matter how it looks in the end. And it can be a throwaway mini. Sometimes some interesting experiments come out of it, and sometimes they're absolutely crap results, but that's usually what I do. Or just try to find something, yeah.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Thank you, Craftism. Thanks a lot for subscribing. Don't forget that you do have access to all the sneaky channels on Discord if you subscribe on Twitch. But yeah, just picking up a mini that I don't care that much about, but that has an interesting theme or something like that usually helps. Hey, go for it, painting. Germany is a good language. I don't know what that means. Have a great paint job. Thank you. Mr. Morden. The shadows are watching. You know, the first internet usernames, you know, handle thing, like in chat rooms and stuff, I was called Mr. Morden. That character was just an interesting concept. That's now more than 30 years ago. What size is that brush? Actually, good question. It's size 4 Da Vinci. What series? Oh yeah, they came out with miniature brushes. I meant to give a review on that. So the Miniature Maestro 76. Those are actually really good brushes. I've been using this one for quite a while, and you can see that I have not been treating it properly. Need to give it a cleaning session, but they are pretty good. Yeah, that's a size 4 apparently. This is last time you entered something.
Nice to meet you.
I got 2 silver Golden Demons in 2018, and I placed 3rd in the Ever Chosen competition. That was the worldwide painting competition that Games Workshop had. So those were the last years that I entered Games Workshop painting competitions. Yeah, I'm trying again this October, but I'm having a bit of a hard time finding what I want to paint. I guess it's just because there's so many miniatures nowadays. See, I don't quite, I'll be honest, I don't get the concept. Like, these dudes are I don't know if they're living in the warp and then they're phasing in and out, but they're phasing in and out of some shadow realm. I guess it's the warp. I mean, what made them decide that they're wearing skin as a yeah, this part, and then what made them decide that they're not wearing skin here? I just the concept of the sculpt and the idea behind them is kind of, I don't quite get it. You're fun to listen to in English as well. Thank you, MF. Perhaps a video painting a small section of a model to do to that quality. I think a lot of people might know. So you gotta understand that, sure, there's going to be a couple of people that would watch that, but just, I don't know, what would be a good example? So I can't do, I mean, I don't know, it's more like a personality thing, but Ninjon could get away with something similar, but even he tried to package those into more like a documentary style video. He's not just doing a tutorial, he's doing like his little skit in the beginning, and then obviously people like John and watch most things that he uploads just because he's John, and on top of that they can learn something. And I don't quite have that. People are not watching the videos for my personality, they're trying to learn something, but I still need to pretend like I have a personality and package the videos somehow. I don't know. That's why I've just leaned super heavy into clickbait, well, what people call clickbait, because obviously I'm trying to deliver on the title. But I tried to make my videos more clickable, and that means you have to have a bit of a different approach to the video than just doing a tutorial, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Always have to package it into some kind of story and so on. And I've been trying to find these stories in the minis that I'm painting, and there's not really a story in painting a segment for a Golden Demon. There's a story in documenting the whole thing and just maybe talking about my decisions and yeah, just generally the steps in the journey that I'm taking. But I mean, again, the process is explained already on my Patreons, and that's the place where you want to learn my technique that I use for a high-end painting. There's already there's one video that dives into the techniques, and then there's a couple of videos where I use them on different minis. But those videos would get maybe 5,000 views as a dedicated YouTube video. That's why, yeah, that's why I'm kind of torn between, do I do more YouTube content, or do I pause the YouTube content for a bit and work more on Patreon videos, because I don't need to It's kind of like doing a golden demon entry. So I need to do so much planning before I can start a YouTube video. And it's super stressful because, again, like, how many videos can you do where you paint the mini and explain something interesting or make something fun other than doing a challenge, like a 24 hours challenge, or can I paint this Titan in 24 hours and stuff like that. So that's like a typical YouTube video that does well, but I have no interest in doing that. But for example, I'm starting a kill team, and I already started converting those, and I filmed that. That's also a good YouTube video. But how to paint, I don't know, a Space Marine Scout chapter for YouTube, that's not, people are not watching that anymore. When I say people, then I mean a significant number that warrants working or putting 40 hours into that video. Why can't you do commissions? I explained it. It's just, I can't physically do it. It gives me discomfort just thinking about it. Used to do commissions back in the 90s. Can't do it anymore unless it's a character model for a friend. Hey Fuse, how are you doing? I'm okay. Just again torn between what to do next. Stress about the YouTube video, or just do more Patreon content, or work on my golden demon entries. Yeah, just trying to find my way through that at the moment. Right. So I'm just gonna paint a couple of stitches here. Wait, am I done with the skin? I think I am. What music is this? It's White Bat Audio on YouTube. What color is the body, hair, and magic? Body is going to be...
The most important thing is money.
To me you are more like Vinchief than Ninjon. Also, have a small drink on me.
Thank you, Felix. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm having, how to say, I've never been someone that I thought people like I don't have to stand in front of a crowd and talk. I never had that desire. I can do it, but it just was not what I wanted to do. So I'm really bad at telling stories and stuff, right? So some people you can just put in front of a crowd and or in a social situation, and then they will tell you stories, and it's gonna be fun and small talk and just drifting off into other things. Like, that's why I can never have a podcast. It would be too serious. But yeah, and that's not a good quality for trying to make YouTube videos. At least, I don't know, in the niche, it's kind of like you can't do successful YouTube videos about painting without having at least something else, something other than painting. Like, I don't know, look at Angel Giraldes. I've been checking out his content now and then, and he gets like 10,000 views on each video, and that
First,
has some...
I would like to just get to know you.
Thank you, Look here. Thanks for also joining the members. Yeah, he might have some other way to monetize these videos that I don't know about, but or maybe they just take 5 hours to make. I don't know. It has to be something where that allows him to keep going with that viewership. But yeah, he's like a master painter, and it's not working like on a large scale on YouTube. So you have to do some storytelling and so on. Okay. How are we going to tackle this? Probably do like a, just pick a universal highlight color. Maybe a green with some gray mixed in. Like some Nurgling green type. Just to desaturate this even more. We have plans to get and paint some of the new Chaos boxes. Which one? Which Chaos boxes are these? Like the Dark Oath? No. Why do you mean 40k? Reflective armor, multiple light sources. 6 months waiting to be finished, 2,000 cost for 10 months. Quick sculpting question if you don't mind. Well, go on. Oh, I'm way behind, dude. I'm like 30 minutes behind. Do you always build the whole model and paint it then? Yeah, if it's possible. I hate sub-assemblies, and especially if it's not a... That idea is not working, by the way. I feel like that's not working. Yeah, especially if it's not a high-end Golden Demon type thing. I don't like sub-assemblies.
Nice to meet you.
And it's usually not indicated to do so for these type of minis. Like that's an effort that I don't want to put in for that type of minis. Because it's usually not really worth it. New Mandrake sculpts. I mean, I find them. The sculpts itself are nicely. They kind of quote unquote suffer from the usual overdoing of things. Like what's a good example? Like some of these, some of them are just way over the top. But I don't know how they treat the skin that they could get these extreme folds. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, I like the weapons, the shape of the weapons. I don't like that this is 8 pieces, but I guess that's what Games Workshop is at the moment. And then there's some weird parts where, because of, yeah, so this part here, that looks super odd. And if this was a competition piece, I would definitely try to sculpt something over this, like this huge gap. I just bought scale 75 colors. What 3 advices would you give to a newbie? Get other colors. I don't know, it's like the colors are okay. The reds are just god awful. Yeah, they're just not how to say. They're kind of different from other colors. Like any other color you can, or any other brand, you can just, I don't know, buy like a game color, and they will behave very similarly to Citadel colors, and those two are going to behave really similar to AK Interactive colors. And then I don't know, name 4 other brands, and they're all going to behave really similar. And then you have scale 75, and it's just a completely different way to paint. Well, not completely, but it just feels different to use them than any of all of these other brands. And then when you finally learn how to use them, you want to just use one other brand, and then you have to relearn everything else. So that's why I don't think they're great beginner colors. I also don't know what to do. Like, try finding, just do the general thing. Try painting a couple of transitions and see how much you have to thin them down, and how much color to take on the brush, and then how they come off the brush. And I feel like that was a bit of a problem for me. They didn't quite come off the brush.
The most important thing is money.
Have a great night. It would be awesome to see you on the painting phase if you haven't already been on. Will we see more collabs in the future?
Thanks, okay. So the thing is always, like, collabs are usually only interesting. Well, I feel like when you can't do them in person, they feel a bit boring. So it's doubtful that many collabs are going to happen. And I mean, just take painting phase for example. They want to have people over, obviously. So I don't know if I can just willy-nilly travel to the UK. So I don't know. Maybe if I am over there for some other event. But also I have no idea if they want me. They usually only have don't they usually only have like Games Workshop employees or ex-Games Workshop employees? I don't know what their target group for guests is. No idea. Okay. Cork is a skin tone. Oh, we had that. Any particular inspiration for the skin? No, I was just slapping random colors on so far. So we gotta find a shadow color soon. I kind of have my highlight color. I just want to make sure it's more desaturated. AK Cork as a Caucasian skin tone base. I see. Start to learn color triads and color theory. That being said, I have minis where I can see 3 out of 4. Oh, that was in regards to the colorblind question. I guess that makes sense if you kind of know where they are, where the triad is, or pick colors according to triad. You're kind of not going wrong starting off with that. I was just wondering what happens to the models that you paint. Do you keep them? Yes. Most video games are a pain in the ass now. I'll give up before 4-hour download is finished. Yeah, whenever video games become a chore. So the last thing that I played was actually Lost Ark. I played that for a year before my son was born. And it felt like a second job, honestly. And once I realized that, I stopped. After watching most videos anyway on YouTube, I can sub here too. Thank you, Dino. There are palettes for any kind of media, software, presentations, graphs for colorblind. Maybe those could be a start. How does that translate? So if you can't, you can't. Wait, they would be.
How did you find me?
They would be coded in some way, right? There would be a column name, and then you could try translating that into paints. Yeah, maybe. Which mini was the most fun this year? I didn't paint that many minis yet this year, but probably the Necron, honestly, that I painted for the last Patreon video. Simply because it was quick and a really great effect. Yeah, I guess that's probably it. Oh, hold on. See, I don't know why those don't cover at all. It's kind of.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Thank you, Subatmit. Thanks a lot for subscribing. And again, remember, you do have access to the secret channels on Discord now. Do not have. Oh, the glasses that are supposed to have the color blindness. I think that's a scam. I don't think that's actually a thing. Or maybe I'm wrong there. These colors do not feel really nice. Is this the paint consistency that you're looking for in German for competition paint job? Oh, I don't understand the question. The paint consistency? So paint consistency changes massively during painting for competition. Like there's a certain way that or a certain dilution that I use for stipple blending, but then there's another type of dilution for glazing transitions together, for example. Sometimes I use like super opaque layers. it's not just one way to dilute the paint on the palette and so on. There's lots of experience just going into that. It's not
How did you find me?
usually something that you learn within a month or two. You're just really trying to give it everything.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Thank you, Shock44, for subscribing. Thanks a lot. Speaking about paint consistency, that over here does not look extremely nice. Don't know what the problem exactly was. I guess it just looks really streaky. Wow, how am I so behind on chat? How long do your brushes normally last you? When I take care of them, usually a year. Between 6 months and a year. If I don't take care of them, then less. Images then half an hour behind still. Do you find painting with other people more fun? I do, but the mini is rarely finished. I mean, that's basically streaming for me. But yeah, it's always more fun to paint with a group. So now we got to figure out something for
Nice to meet you.
the green back here. Guess I'll just put down a couple of highlights and then do something similar as with the front and just wash over it with some colors. My first one was flawed. A nice camera angle, thank you. Yeah, I'm not super convinced yet, but it is okay, I guess. Still room for optimization. Yeah, thank you. The best thing was me now have the lights and all of that in there, and there's the microphone too. But that was just because I just wanted to turn the stream on and didn't want to fiddle around with all of this. But that's room for improvement. What? No, the best improvement was having the camera up there where no one can see it. And where I also don't constantly bump it with my head. That was a big improvement. Or quality of life improvement. Everybody had some X in the name. Finish Murathi? I don't think so. For some reason I never got into that model properly. Didn't quite speak to me.
How did you find me?
Wanna do this in another color. Simply because it's a different feature, but I don't know how. Like this guy, I basically want to get the main colors down, and then work on the glow effect, and then see how that changes everything. Yeah, so this is basically a palette cleanser for me. Did not plan to paint it, but I had an idea about well, it's not a great idea, but at least it's something I wanted to paint with the OSL, the source of the magic casting a light outwards, and obviously then doing OSL. Aren't you innovators? If yes, I'd say you have a personality. Thank you. I mean, the thing is, I need to make a conscious effort. So I'm always trying to communicate the point that I'm trying to communicate, and I'm staring at the camera like this, trying to remember the words, and there's no room for, you know, smiling and being funny, and that's my main problem. I need to fix that somehow. The presentation of my lines.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Thanks a lot, Frozen Howl. Thank you for the support. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that's... the delivery of my lines is improvable. That brush stroke. See, I don't know if I want to go desaturated here. Might be too boring. But then again, I feel like making those too warm is probably not the right move. Like when you're looking at these guys, you kind of want a cold feeling. See how that looks against the colder highlights up here. Maybe have like a hint of some warmers, yeah, warmer tones, and then just put more blue into the highlights, or the very highlights. Guess that can work. People don't watch for my personality. Savage self-burn. I don't know, man. Should I focus on non-metallic first or leave it until much later in my painting process? First getting down to fundamentals? If so, what would you recommend I focus on first? I mean, what is non-metallic metal? It is just knowledge about where to put. I mean, let's talk about steel, for example. Grayscale, where to put the brightness and darkness, so where to put the highlights and the shadows, so that it looks like you are mimicking steel or a metallic surface. So you can start doing non-metallic metal at the beginning. You just have to study how light behaves on surfaces and shapes, and that's what I would recommend to start. So it can be frustrating if you don't know how to blend yet, or you know, not necessarily blend, because you can do non-metallic metal without having to necessarily blend it, but how to apply your colors. So just what brush strokes, or how to hold your brush, and what brush strokes to use for the side effect. So in that way, you should probably learn the basics, quote unquote basics, of painting. But you can learn that by doing non-metallic metal. I would not hold myself down with, I mean, you can do anything, just try it, right? But you just need to put in the research. What does make non-metallic metal look good, and yeah, just study the basics, learn the basics of that, and you're good to go. Because if you don't know the basics of non-metallic metal, you're just doing something. But the thing is, you could just try mimicking, yeah, just looking at reference pictures and just try mimicking that. You don't have to understand it in on an academic level, so you don't have, you just have to get a feel for what looks real and what doesn't. That would be my recommendation. I learned from all of you. I enjoy your critics videos. I mean, that's the way it should be, right? I get why it sometimes happens, because human beings are tribal. It's just the way it is, and it becomes, it's not often, but sometimes you get people kind of trying to make it a favorite YouTuber thing, like, oh, my favorite YouTuber does this much better, and it's like, it doesn't really matter, dude. We're all just trying to have fun with mini painting and show you the things we have fun with, and maybe teach you something. And we're all kind of aware that everyone has different fortes, and yeah, no one is trying to be the other person. And no one's trying to have beef with any of the other creators. Why do you have to make it about that? Well, not you, but the person or the people that do that. Can I paint a mini with one eye closed and holding the brush in the wrong hand? Yeah, dude, I'm like... To me, that feels like wasting my time. I just want to paint a miniature the way that I learned it and have fun with it. And not do some silly stuff where I take the miniature and just throw it away afterwards. What camera setup do you use for your videos? I've been looking at the lighting you're using in the background. So many questions to it. So you don't need any fancy camera equipment. The only question is, where do you want to position your camera? So because I'm that far back, it is a 70 to 300 millimeter focal length, and it can zoom and all that. But before that, I was using just a kit lens for my GH5. It just had to be closer here. So those are the things that you should think about. You can use whatever camera for filming, really. You can use a camcorder if you want to. Like, those are typically easier to set up if you just want to use them for filming like overhead shots or yeah, painting scenes. But I have mirrorless DSLR cameras mainly because I also want to use them to film other things like scenes and stuff like that. I'm kind of not happy about this, but let's see. Let's just establish a bit of...
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Thank you, Argentum. Thanks for joining the Patreon. Feels like a little not outlandish enough. I guess that's why videos from people like Pete the Wargamer and Duncan Rhodes get a little repetitive. I like it personally. Yeah. Again, that's like the main thing, right? So it's another painting tutorial. Even though it's probably a great tutorial, it's like, yeah, can it really draw 100,000 people in? Oh, Jesus. Let's see. I feel like... How can we spice this up?
Nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't answer this question. So do you want to, do you recommend buying a dedicated task light versus studio lights? Yeah, so if you can make it work, the task light is obviously going to be cheaper. I have this here because it's because of the way that I set up my scenes, I needed the overhead light. And that's why I have a studio light here. And if you just want to film yourself painting, like just want to film the miniature, then you can just get a task light and you're going to be good. Yeah, again, this is just because it has a function, and the function is not being in the frame when I film anything else. See, so that's a bit more green, but I can kind of already tell that I don't like that. That's too intense. Here's videos with basics, priming, color choice, cenital, snapshot, base coding. Maybe. So yeah, so evergreen stuff you can do that. So those videos are not going to generate that many views initially, but it's like that one video where I talked about, where I showed like 5 basic, or is it 6 basic painting techniques with the Saurus model. And that is basically the idea behind that, to have more like a evergreen content that is a basic video that can be watched years down the line and still be relevant. Yeah, I just don't know if I want to do it like do it like a, how would you call, like a collection of a series. But eventually I'll probably go back and do something similar that is of the same idea. Doing a basic video where I talk about another basic aspect, like these blending styles. But another thing is, there is already so many videos out there that deal with that basic stuff. Like new to miniature painting, start here. It feels like everyone has that video already. Hi, my super idol. I just want to say the Gundam style has been booming for me. Everything has been easy and fun. I have to thank you for that. Thank you, Chester. Try tending someone else's garden for low pay. If you love it, then try doing commissions. Yeah, that makes sense. I get really annoyed by the silliness of other YouTubers. So it's a problem. There's it's not a problem, right? It's just the way that YouTube is. For me, it's
how did you find me?
Because I didn't find a good way to not just be about the miniature painting, and to connect better to the audience. There's just nothing wrong with that, and it doesn't have to be silly, but for a lot of people it is silly. I don't know, for the Squid Mike gang, it's like that whole leaning into the accent more and more, for example. Just, I don't know, feeling, yeah, building some connection through that. Why is this all of a sudden? I guess it's because it's too bright. Let's start darker. For others, it's more the city skits and so on. It's just a question of what is working as far as building that connection. And everyone has their own strategies for that. And I'm just saying, like, I need to find a better way to do that. It's like it's just something I have to work on. It's just like trying to improve your blends. just have to improve my how I deliver the lines and not feel like a robot doing so. I'm an illustrator and I have a humble Instagram that I post to, and as a creator I relate more to you than most. I feel like I can't post sketches or anything unfinished. Yeah, it makes sense. It's like so the key to social media and trying to build a following is figuring out what there's an audience for and just doing that same thing over and over again, and just package it in a way that feels fresh to someone that maybe isn't an expert but that is adjacent to the topic and that enjoys the topic. And that's a harsh truth, but that is the way it works. And I just hate that. I can't do it. It's like you can probably paint OSL all the time on every single miniature and just marginally switch it up and, you know, paint it on different minis, or even just paint it on Space Marines all the time and build a very large following on top of that. While obviously, I mean, you can also build a following off of being a really good painter and just painting competition pieces all the time. But how many competition pieces can you do in a year compared to maybe quickly spraying some pre-shading with the airbrush and not really caring how smooth the transition is, and then just working over it with inks and so on, and just doing that over and over. You can pump out like hundreds of minis doing that, and it's gonna do really well on social media. But if you feel like, you know, you want to do different things all the time and experiment and all that and just do high-end stuff, then yeah, it's just in the nature of social media that you have to post a lot. Otherwise people forget you, or your content is not pushed. So if you are a creator, you're kinda forced towards more mediocre yeah, you know, results, just because you can post them more often. I've definitely felt that. Okay, let's just try and see how if we move into blue highlights now, how that looks. Hey Keith, the miniature painter. Akai, the miniature painter, I'm sorry. I think mini painting on YouTube has definitely skewed towards entertainment. Yeah. Yeah. Or just building, or I don't know. It's more like about personalities that also paint minis than just miniature painting. But again, it's just an observation. It's just how it is. I'm not saying the one or the other is better. I'm just, yeah, trying to figure out how to navigate that. basically. Where's the blue? Where is the blue? Oh, over here. The Mandrake piece in the snow, does it glow? I'm 100% sure it does.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I will speak. Thanks a lot for subscribing. Welcome. Are we painting nightmares, having a nightmare painting, or having a nightmare about painting? All of it. Do you have painting tutorials on cloth? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Probably both on YouTube and Patreon.
How did you find me?
The weapon needs blood stains. I'm gonna do him pre-battle, I think. Did you try the two thin coats? No. So the problem with there's two problems with all the new with so many new colors coming out. If you get like FOMO and want to try them, but you don't really have to. Once you found paints that you are okay with, and generally all the paint ranges that are out now are usually you're gonna be fine just using that one paint range.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Thank you, GL1MMA. Thanks a lot for subscribing. Yeah, so you don't need 2, 3, 4 paint ranges. You don't need to try all the new paints. Everyone wants to make money, I get it, but I don't know. Like, what's the new paint range going to make different than all of the other paint ranges? Like, I don't know, like 10 years ago it was the heavy body acrylics, maybe not that long ago. But yeah, everyone was doing heavy body acrylics. People are still mostly painting with normal acrylics, except for a few that really liked it and that could, you know, that could make it work with their style. But most people don't need heavy body acrylics, let's put it that way. Now we're getting just new acrylic ranges left and right. The question is, do we need them? It's probably not. And the answer is probably not. So once you found one good paint range, stick to it, and then you can kind of think about all the paints that whether or not the paints that are out there are going to help you do anything better or work better in some situation. And if there's a yes, then go for it. But if it's just another acrylic range, you probably don't need it. You also don't need the brushes by your favorite YouTuber. You also don't need the what else is there? Unless you want to support them, of course, right? But none of that stuff is going to make you a better painter. This brush is probably a tiny bit too big for this painting approach. But again, just trying to have a bit of fun with it. Music is by White Bat Audio. White Bat Audio. I'll collab with an illustrator. I don't know what. How would you do that? Would he? What? Yeah. Would he? Or they design a mini and I would sculpt it? I don't know.
How did you find me?
They're already kind of getting into defining all of this, but I'm still not sure if I like the result. Do you recommend glasses like the ones you have? Do you have any issues with eyesight? So, I mean, nowadays, obviously I can't paint like this anymore. So, okay, let's see. You know, I'm getting old, so that's why I can't be up close anymore. So that's why I nowadays need the magnifying glasses to be able to paint competition level pieces where I want to just basically, yeah. No, let's be honest, I need the magnifying glasses for everything, because otherwise I would be, I guess I could paint minis like this, but I just want to be able to see what I'm doing up close. So, long story short, I do always recommend getting magnifying glasses, no matter if your eyesight is good or bad. It's just, to me, it always has been a lot more relaxing using them. It always has been a lot less strain on the eyes. Better to join here or Patreon. Do you have many videos that you have to be? So all of the video content is always in the $10 range, whether it's Patreon or YouTube. But I recommend joining on Patreon because there's a few more perks through Patreon. Simply because it's so complicated to run both. I'm probably not caught up on uploading all the Patreon content to YouTube members, and also the PDFs are on Patreon. So basically every video that I'm releasing is nowadays also being released on YouTube for YouTube members, but there's a bit of a backlog that I haven't updated yet. Huh. So did I end up liking that? I did. Let's see. Don't remember. But I always recommend Patreon. But there has been a time when Patreon was not liked by a lot of people, or you know, a vocal minority did not like Patreon. Let's put it that way. And because of that, I opened the YouTube members too. But ever since back then, I'm kind of playing catch up with uploading all the content. But yeah, just moving forward, all the content is also on YouTube members. It's just a bit of a backlog that isn't there. Are there painters creators you think will be fun to work with? I recently watched a lot of Juan Hidalgo. I mean, anyone can be worked with. The thing is, whenever I have someone to bounce off of, I think I'm kind of funny. It's just I'm not a stand-up comedian. If I have someone to react to, then that's always funny. It doesn't matter who it is usually. But yeah, that's why I say usually in-person collaborations are way better. Ooh, why am I dropping the brush so much today? So I kind of want a bit of purple in there. Let's see. How long will it be streaming? Not sure. Maybe 2 hours maximum. Do you recommend using sponges for painting? If you enjoy painting with sponges, I recommend using them, yeah. Hey Senark. What time is it where you are? It's 4:30 p.m. Somebody that I used to know clip. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Actually, it's kind of funny. It really does. Do you not want to duplicate other YouTubers' content because you're worried about getting enough views, or is a drive to be original? What do you mean? Oops. Why would I make a video that is already out there by someone else? I mean, sometimes you kind of do the same thing just because you feel like you have a bit of a different angle. But generally, yeah, I'm trying to make a video that's not been out there yet. You don't bother with the back? Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? If it's enough quote unquote, to understand what's going on to show on the front. I don't know. Mint green waistcloth. Yeah, I was super lost about what to do with it. Felt like I wanted some kind of fabric that's desaturated, that I can tint with another color. So once we go into the shading, we'll see how that works. That's why Flame On and Richard Gray post after they finish an arm or jacket, just so they can post something. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was in regards to having to push out content. Yeah. Use non-hobby advertised paints, schminke. Yeah, I have a couple of inks. And yeah, inks mostly. Oil paints, but I don't know. Yeah, oil paints. I don't know if they fall under that category. But yeah, I'm a pretty simple man. I just use whatever works, and I can make everything work with acrylics. You know, sometimes people will come in and say, yeah, but using product X is going to be faster. But since I'm not really focused on speed, I just want to have fun, and want to be happy with the results.
How did you find me?
I don't need the product that is focused on speed. But yeah. Do you stream a lot? I don't stream a lot. I'm trying to get back into streaming each Monday. It has been super tricky because sometimes I need the time to finish a video, and I swear, whenever there's a doctor's appointment with the kid, it's always on Monday. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into the regular Monday streams, because that's usually also when I give feedback. I was speaking about that. I also promised that, but I got lost in and trying to make this work. Yeah, let's just try and push through the rest of the cloak, and then we're going to do the feedback thing. Getting the layers on, I can never get the dilution or gradient correctly. It's just a matter of practice. You need to deliberately practice what you want to achieve, and then you know, experiment with dilution and all of that, or you can have someone show it to you in reality. So for example, if you can take a class or private class, that's going to help you a lot. Two thin coats are Games Workshop color matched anyways. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I believe you if you say so.
Nice to meet you.
I just mean that just underscores how, you know, once you have one range, you're gonna be fine. Speaking of trying new paints, I tried the new War Paint Fanatics and did not like them at all. Difficult to blend. I have not tried them, so I can't say much. But yeah, for some people it's going to be different or difficult, and then others are going to like it. It's just that, yeah, everyone's just so different, and it's going to have different preferences. So that's why I don't want to do reviews on colors. Most of the time it feels like I would just be saying, yeah, it feels like all the other colors. So if you don't own any colors, you could paint these. If you already own 200 colors, probably want to sit those out, because it's just the same thing. Obviously that's not good when you are a YouTuber, because you need to hype up the new stuff so that your affiliate links pop off. YouTuber. But any good UV paint did a few 2 Redemptor units. That slot in the case with a head. Unfortunately, the UV was horrible to use. Got chopped down. I don't know what. Is that a question? Like, if I know a better UV paint, what's a UV paint to start with? I'm confused. My jealousy for your brush control will never diminish. Yeah, now figure or try thinking about what I can do when I'm not on cam. I'm honestly, it feels like running the 100-meter sprint with a ball chained to your leg. That's how I feel when I'm painting on camera. You and the illustrator co-design a mini you painted. They do painting of it to go along. I don't know. I guess you would need someone to sculpt it, so that's either me or I pay someone. And see, I thought about doing that, like getting my own miniature range, but I just feel, I don't know, maybe it's different nowadays because people really liked that book that I was working on, and we were the community that contributed like the most out of all content creators to sold books. I think we contributed 10%. No, we contributed 14%. And there was more than 20 people that had... No, there was way more. There was 20 people that worked on the book, and then there was a lot of content creators that also had affiliate links, and I think we still contributed 14%. So what I was trying to say is that back in the day, I don't think if I launched a miniature range, I would not get anything near what Miniac got or Squidmark got as far as people buying the things. Maybe nowadays it's different, so maybe it's time to think about that again. Just designing or just expanding on my robot universe that I established with a couple of my busts. Maybe do a few more designs and have someone else sculpt it so that I can focus on videos and maybe just try how that works now that I feel like a bit more confident that there is actually people out there that would get it. I would love a set of Chimera, but we'll probably stick to golden acrylics. That's a good question. Whether or not those are super different. So I mean, the golden acrylics are kind of intense, right? Not sure if you have them that you would need Chimera paints, but if you didn't have any like these intense, very high pigment colors, I can recommend Chimera colors. But yeah, I can also recommend golden acrylics. So yeah, I don't think in that case it makes sense to invest into an additional brand that basically does the same thing or very similar thing, let's put it that way. Bonsoir. Probably butchered that. Hey Handarion. I need glasses in my day-to-day life and magnifying glasses give me headaches. I see. Try... You can use like reading glasses, they help. Or they do something really similar. What are your thoughts on these sculpts? As nice in person as it is. I mean, the sculpts are crisp. There's nothing wrong with them on a detail level. You just have to like the style, I feel like. But yeah, they are crisp, very crisp. I say make the same video. I don't know these people exist, and if I like your content, I want to watch you.
How did you find me?
Yeah. I just don't feel like copying someone else's video would be fun, right? But if it's a similar video where I have something else to say or something to add, then yeah, then I'm not too worried. Especially if it's a video that has been doing good. Makes sense to do something similar. I just feel like in a niche that's not super big, like ours, I almost feel like everyone has already watched everyone's video. I don't want to bore people, I guess that's one thought that I have about the whole thing. But yeah, how many hours do you paint a day? Not too many. So my work is usually editing videos. So when I paint Mini for 2 hours, then editing that video usually takes two days. And it's worse for YouTube. But yeah, that's about the ratio of editing to painting. I've been trying to find shortcuts, but it hasn't worked so far. Would you be interested in doing miniature related aside from Games Workshop stuff? Would I be interested? Of course, but would anyone watch it? Like a significant amount of people? I guess if you can construct a story around it, then it would make sense. But just painting it like a tutorial, like how to paint a Confrontation Wolfen, like that game is dead. No one wants to watch that because no one can get the minis anymore. But yeah, I mean, obviously I would paint something else. Okay, let's think about what I want to do. I feel like I want to straight up just add some dark sea blue or something like that, but like I said, I want to try and stick more to a purple color for the shadows, so we'll see. Your notification woke me up this morning when I forgot to set an alarm. Your lifesaver, you're welcome. You can create highlights without mixing your colors with an off-white or white. Oh yeah, exactly. Wait, what did he ask? Do you ever worry that your highlight will make your mini less colorful as it gets more desaturated? Yeah, so David gave you good advice. You can always highlight with a bluish color, like depending on how dark your the color is. There's like these type of blues that you can mix in for, yeah, obviously blue, shifting it more towards the colder spectrum, or just straight up add some yellow like this. And there's obviously the ice yellow that is, yeah, an option, but that has a lot of yellow in it by default. Hitting nightmares is what I call my AdMech and sister armies. I've seen what you can do. Well, who, me? Or Hendarion? Hi, Mr. T.
Nice
from
to meet you.
Minnesota. I have a lot of paint decent brushes. Question: would contrast speed paint or inks be a better next investment? I've been painting only 1 year after a 40-year break. I mean, what do you want? What is your goal with painting? Why would you get contrast paints or inks? If you don't have an application for it, it's usually not a good investment. You can check out what how I use contrast paints on my YouTube, which is usually I use them as inks and to stain gradients, like black and white gradients. Inks kind of the same thing. So if that is something you're interested in, go for it. I was reading an interview from David Rodriguez in An Old White Dwarf, and he was saying never to highlight it with white. Would you agree with that statement? I wouldn't say never, but you know, because sometimes you're happy with the whole desaturated approach, and especially, for example, steel metallics, you kind of want that yellow, you want that white in there because that's just the hue of the metal, and that's just how white or light reflects, right? Ultimately, off of a light reflecting off of a metallic edge is just going to be white. So there, obviously, you want to use white, or I can't think of anything else you would use white, but there is use cases, obviously, but not using white and using those more warmer or colder tones or skin tones sometimes, for red, for example, just makes the transitions and the colors look more interesting. Yep. It's pretty relaxing to sit at home painting minis while watching you paint minis and listen to you. Thank you, Mario. I bought a bit of self-drying clay, so I might experiment with it. If it sucks, I just lost 10 euros. For sculpting, yeah, it's always just fun to experiment. What brushes do I use? I usually use Raphael 8404. I just don't know where my good ones are. Raphael 8404. So that's why today I'm using a Da Vinci Miniature Maestro, which are really good brushes, by the way. But I think I don't know if you can get. I mean, you probably can get them outside of the EU, but they're probably gonna be more expensive. Having trouble getting past the ugly face on metallics. Any tips? Wait. So, what did you do? Is the ugly face is when you are trying to do a technique.
How did you find me?
And the first steps of that technique don't make it look good, and the last, or you know, the last steps are tying it together, or you are adding a wash on top of the gradient you painted, so you're rounding it out with another technique, and that's when the ugly face stops. So did your ugly face just never stop and now it's kind of finished, or are you stuck in the part where you're trying to create the transition, for example? Okay, hard to demonstrate in a 20 minutes video. I mean, honestly, this is it's too. it's not super consistent. It's just a general idea, right? And for example, this part is okay, but this one's not really not. And there I didn't go as bright, but yeah. So that's just a general idea. I mean, you can communicate that in a very short video. But obviously, if I was aiming for Golden Demon quality, all the time that I took here now would probably only go in this area, into this area. So then it doesn't make sense to make a video about that, right? Custom sculpt inspired by the old Nurgle Plague Knight you showed off as a contest winner. Which one? I don't remember that one. Most people highlight black armor with blues. Is purple, pink possible? Anything is possible. It's your miniatures. Or like Bob Ross said, it's your world. You are the creator. Regarding the collaboration convo, I didn't mean design your own range. I meant custom chapter or kit bash. I mean, I don't need a designer for that. Or illustrator. Also, I was just referring to... I don't know, I didn't really talk about the collaboration part when I was talking about or going back to designing my miniatures or expanding on my miniature range again. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Let's see. yeah, I wanted to work on the shading now. Appreciate the Necron OSL. Thank you, darling. YouTubers have been going made. That's it. This is hard to read. YouTubers have been going made, claiming everyone else is plagiarism them lately. I've been going around claiming everyone. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really worried about that. It's like, that guy has been using acrylic paints. I have been using acrylic paints 20 years before them. They're all plagiarizing me. I don't know. I'm not too worried. Everyone's just trying to feel important. I don't really have that in my head. If I'm not important, I mean, I am not important. That's the main thing. I'm just painting minis on the internet. So how is that important? Or how can you have any illusions of grandeur doing that? Right? If I don't know, I feel validated through other things. You know, or let's say, of course I enjoy, or I like when people, a lot of people watch the video and they enjoy it and all that. I feel validated through that, but I don't have to have, I don't need to feel better than someone else, right? Or appear better than someone else, or I'm not trying to get a lot of views to be better than someone else. And so who cares what anyone else is saying? I just, again, want to create stuff on the internet, and if a lot of people like it, then obviously that's a good thing and that's fun, right? But who cares about about anything else? Have you ever participated in Monte San Savino or been interested? I mean, interested, yeah, but lately I have mainly been painting to, or most of my painting has been for YouTube and for videos, so a lot of it is quicker and trying to be more effective, or it's been focused on teaching the things. And when you are teaching something, showing it on a miniature, that's probably not going to end up being a good competition piece. And I don't think, I'll say, yeah, it's, yeah, exactly. So I've never felt like I can do, or I'm doing the best thing that I can, that I want to enter into competition. All my miniatures lately have been a means to an end, which is, again, making videos or teaching others through Patreon and so on. So I don't have the drive necessarily to go there and compete, simply because I can't do my best with most of the pieces that I paint, and also I don't need the validation. So if I would go there, it would be purely to connect with other painters and see and get inspired and all of that, and not to compete. That's my point. I just started trying AK paints with red. Super satisfied. Oh yeah, the red ones are really nice. You transfer citadel pots into something else. I used to. I was just too lazy to transfer. Like the last ones that I got. I have about 15 colors or so. And then all of the contrast paints are still in the pots. Interesting answer. Contrast inks application defines the need. I am looking to stain and filter to add contrast. Yeah, it's always application defines the need, exactly. But yeah, I mean, if you are trying to do that, then they are good. So my suggestion would be painting something and then getting a color that fits that painting, or that color that you picked, and trying to do what you want to do, and then see if it works with inks and contrast paint. Just used Vallejo Fluorescent Orange for the first time to paint Chaos Runes according to your Necron video. I'm loving it. How would you add a little glow effect around them? Airbrush. Just a mist of white. Like sprayed. How can I illustrate that? I have something. Hold on. Where did I put that Necron? Oh no. Yeah, so yeah, basically you're aiming at this, you know, ridge here. I'm sorry, indent, right? And then you're just making or creating a bit of a mist around it with the airbrush with white, and then on top of that you're just spraying the fluorescent green again. Or even just glazing over it works too. Kind of like I created that glow out here by just painting it dark green and then just adding white and then going over it with the fluorescent green. That's the idea behind it. I'm thinking about whether or not, yeah, or you know, you could try, if you don't have an airbrush, just dry brush around it with white and then do the same thing, just paint the fluorescent color over it. Do you paint tufts? If yes, with which tool? Depends. If it needs to be fast, then I'm just dropping a bit of diluted paint on top of it. And if I want a better result, then I'm doing it with the airbrush. Is there some way to get some advice on a paint that I'm working on, like what I could do better? Yeah, I mean, if you have access to the Discord, which means if you are a supporter of some kind, then you can post it in the feedback section. Just want to say that I love your work and have you some advice for me about painting non-metallic metal. First of all, thanks. And second, well, what is advice? Whenever people say, have you some advice, I feel like I need to give them a tutorial. Because what singular advice would make your non-metallic metal better? Look at references and see where to put dark parts and bright parts. And yeah, just look at the exact shape that you are trying to paint, and yeah, try to study a reference. And then, because placement usually is more important than blending on non-metallic metal. I mean, both help, but first of all, try to understand where to place your highlights, and then only then care about smoothness. Okay, but oh my god, the Necron. Yeah, it's super glowy, right? Especially on camera. So I want to try and see if I can find anything. Whoops. Just hit the camera. I'm sorry. That can make this a bit more interesting. Sorry, give me a second. That's my doorbell. Sorry. Are you also streaming on Twitch? I am. My title is Painting Dwarfs. Hit to the stream. Where the paints used for the front of the pen shown on stream? I was using cork, and what else was I using?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Thank you, Gil. Welcome to the Patreon. Thank you for the support. And I hope you enjoy the videos and PDF. Yeah, so mainly those two. There's dark rust and cork, and then I added gray, graphite, yeah, to desaturate it, and that basically gave me those two colors. Like this up here, this was cork, and that was the brown, and then that is more like a nurgling green with a bit of gray. But yeah, I like those colors. Those two I like. This one is more like eh. But yeah. Okay, let's try and see. I think I want to mix more like a straight up purple from a magenta and the blue. We'll see if that works. I said Gale. What's the correct pronunciation? Sorry. I bought the Fireteam board game and I painted the Necrons per your 9th edition guide. They look amazing. When I get some free time, I'm going to add the glow effect. Yeah, those should go really nicely together. Okay. Time to ruin it. So a bit of a combination of these. See, just trying to add some richness. We'll see if it works. Of these. Did you study any color theory to get one?
Nice to meet you.
Practically not. I mean, now and then it makes sense to kind of understand what is a warm color and a cool color and how they work together, and why certain contrasts work and why they don't, and that mixing purple and yellow, for example, will gray out colors, so adjacent colors in the color wheel are going to kind of cancel each other out. That's good to know, but nothing major really. Deep sea blue shadow, yeah, so I didn't use deep sea blue, but it looks very similar, right? It's Terradon turquoise mixed with Volupus pink, and I'm just going between them. So let me see here. So sometimes I will use more blue version and sometimes I will use the more magenta version, and then I will use a mix, just to have variety in there. Not necessarily the best idea to do this with contrast paint, but I guess I'm fine with a little not so smooth result, just so I can be a bit quicker. I said the goal is to have more variety. Not gonna lie, the blue kind of probably looks a bit better than the purple, but I think it's still okay to have the purple in there. At least in some areas. Some dust collecting there. It's gonna need some cleanup, but it makes everything a tiny bit more, what's the word? Like intense, more chromatic. deeper colors, richer colors. Yeah, so here it looks too much coffee staining, so technically have to correct this. Just need a bit more color. Wait, what did I do? Dark green, gray, and oh yeah, got it. It's pronounced Gale. Sorry, it doesn't make a difference to me. It's not common for US people. Kind of funny that you would think I'm from the US. But yeah, sorry, I mispronounced your name. Hey TJ, you make it look so easy. I don't know about that. I think getting a piece of paper and a pencil and drawing high shine metals and super glossy objects can help with learning about placement. Just gotta, I think gotta be careful, because when painting with acrylics you can highlight, you can add white, and when you're doing pencils you can only shade down, right? Or maybe you can use an eraser, yeah, to bring back some shine. Yeah, why not? Why not? So with, oh, I already have it here. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna spend too much time correcting everything, but for example here, so this is a bit annoying that there's some coffee staining here, so this is what I'm going to touch up. But other than that, I feel like it looks okay. So probably could have spent a little less time on the stippling, or maybe stippling with like maybe use a rougher brush, like a dry brush, a very small one, to create a similar effect after going over it, and then going over it with the contrast paint to create the depth. But yeah, it was fun to create the transitions nonetheless. So I'm not too worried. Like, but yeah, you can. There's definitely people that will say that was too much time spent. But as you know, I paint to have fun and not necessarily to be the quickest around. Let's see, is this fixing the transitions a tiny bit? I think it is. Yeah, just need to. The problem is that the contrast paints always add some shine, and now we're going over it again with some very matte paint. Oh, we can always, yeah, another thing we can do is we can always add a bit of contrast paint to the color, because obviously we're just trying to create a gradient between two colors, and one of them is the contrast paint and the other one is the just regular acrylic paint. So we can.
How did you find me?
And glaze over it. That was a tiny bit too much. Yeah, that was too much. So maybe bring back some of the blue. Yeah, I kind of like it. Again, it's probably not the smoothest result. I think it works for the theme. Like this being more like an otherworldly, whoops, like fabric. A couple of parts here and there that didn't get shaded properly, so just gonna fix that. Huh. I mean, it's a mistake that American people make a lot. Gotcha. Have you ever accidentally splashed a stroke of skin tone onto the finished robes? I mean, not necessarily skin tone, but yeah, sometimes I have hit areas that I didn't want to hit anymore with some color, yeah. Especially on like Golden Demon stuff. I've done that a couple of times. It's just that you spend so much time with these models, and occasionally you're just sometimes you're tired because you're working on them so much, and then you accidentally hit a gradient with a color that you didn't intend it to hit, or you know, you just do a brush stroke like this and then you hit an area that you already worked on. Happens. Yeah, I feel like especially on the parts where I spent more time, the transitions look really nice. Here they look a bit more rough, but that's okay, I guess.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, going to bring out some parts again. Just a few highlights more to maximize the contrast. Wait, where's my focus? Oh, here. Paint too runny. That doesn't matter too much, it's just the recesses up here. Okay, we're going to hit that with black anyway. But the paint is still too runny. Clean up some edges. Works is an understatement. Do you think as a mini painter you'd make a good competition judge? I mean, I've been a competition judge for 20 times probably. But I mean, what makes a good competition judge? I mean, I want to think I am a good competition judge, as in as objective as it can be and fair and all of that. So yeah. But I mean, ultimately, any art competition is always going to be subjective. So there's the question of that. I think I shouldn't get too stuck on this part here. And just really clean up those areas that need cleaning and then move on. You pointed out that there was some texture on stippled models on the recent Golden Demon winners. You pointed out that there was some texture on stippled models. Do you have a question, Blas? Are mini holders a scam? I mean, are they? I mean, that said, I do use the red grass one. I have the first ones that they made. Ugh, a bit too big. I've been using them ever since they came out with that one. It's just that they're just not suitable for painting on camera. But yeah, I like those. Do you absolutely need them? No, because you can just do this. Or, you know, a whatever bottle you can find, like, I don't know, something like this. You know. All that works. I just like them because you can move this top part around and you can lift it off and exchange them. So you could also, or I could also just do this, right? Same principle. I just, as a grip, or as a pure grip, I like these a bit more because there's a wider, they don't strain my thumb that much. Here I just have to apply like grip strength. I have to press down. Yeah, I have to hold it. Here you can just have that rest in my hand and just have the weight of the thumb basically close the gap or create the tension that I need to not have it fall out of my hands. It's just whatever feels better for you. And you know, for some people, miniature holders are a great thing. I only have time for drive-by comments. I love your content and Patreon. Hope the family's well. Thank you, Marsh. Goodbye. Thank you. Hackxer, Shade Go Burr. I make mini holders with the leftover protein powder scoops I have. Yeah, again, whatever feels natural and good for your thumb, I'd say. Just something to, yeah, where it doesn't get too much strain is good. How's the paint on your brush? Not already super dry. It's because it's a very large brush. It's funny that it's not a lot bigger than the size 1. The Raphael size 1. And this is like a 4. It's just the problem that I have with how brushes are labeled. It's that series or A4 in that series is gonna be not that big, but a 4 in another series is already like this. So I can't quite compare them, but yeah. Okay. Let's see. I just want to give the skin one pass, as like a similar pass. I'm just not 100% sure what color to use. Let's see, let's try very diluted. What is this, snakebite leather? And whether or not that's making everything too yellow. Yeah, I think it is making it too yellow, so we'll just get rid of it. Sorry. I'll quickly go over this off cam. Yeah, gotta figure out the good color for this. Just to create a bit of shading. But I don't necessarily know yet. One of it's good to have a mix of people with non-mini painting backgrounds and people with the skills as judges. I mean, if you have people that paint miniatures, why not judge them or have them judged by miniature painters? It's not like canvas painting translates to miniature painting, or the skills and knowledge that you need for canvas painting necessarily translates to mini painting. Long time watch of videos. Do you feel like the magnifying glasses are worth it as an intermediary painter? Oh yeah, sure. So you're going to see everything up close or closer, so you know what you're doing, and it's, for me, it's putting less strain on my eyes. It always has been helping in that regard. So I mean, they're like 12 bucks. I would say get them and try whether or not they help. In my opinion, that's the best course of action. Let me just do a bit of feedback. We're probably not going to get through all of it, but I need to get back into the habit of doing that. hold on. I gotta use that. Okay. So, yeah, sorry for the weird camera angle. Normally I should be higher up there, but I don't want to touch the camera because then the picture just goes out. Yeah, so whenever you post something for feedback, there's a pinned message up here. Yeah, don't forget to give some pointers on what aspects you want opinions on, because the general feedback thing is always like, I could, you know, start at the beginning and this and that. It just doesn't make sense. Always kind of tell me what you like, what you don't like. Yeah, what direction you want to go, what the goal is, as far as, is this going to be a gaming piece? Are you trying to win a competition, whatever? Because if it's a gaming piece, it doesn't make sense to go in detail on color theory and this and that and try to get a better tool, try to get a sharp brush, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. So any feedback thing is always like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, just explain that in the thing before, or for the picture before, and then I just move on, and you kind of feel left out. Kind of want to avoid that. Where did it go? Hold on. Is this going to open it? Yeah. One second. Hey, Broadsalt Wargaming, how's it going? I mean, so I like the effect. So the question is again, what is your goal, right? So if it's competition painting, then I'd say try fixing that gap 100%, just the basic thing that you want to do. If it's like a showcase and competition mini, then I feel like so obviously the effect kind of takes center stage, and if that's meant to be stars, I feel like your dots are too big. Like, it's fine to have some of these really big, but I would kind of expect a lot of like very small ones. So those speckles, try to find a way to get those speckles like really small. So you see what I mean? There's like a lot of hey, here we go. No, here we don't go. Here we go. Like, so you want to build like the bulk of it with these small things, small dots, and then you have one or two bigger ones. So that's generally more what we are expecting when we're looking at a star system. Not star system, at a galaxy or a starry night sky. So that's something I can recommend. Yeah, I mean, general, maybe also have the blues a bit darker, and then you can always think about defining your edges a bit, just so that it feels a bit more closed off against all the other elements of the miniature. The gap is there. Okay, I see. It's an assembly thing. Gotcha. Okay, want to paint a reverse OSL effect as if the lantern was a black hole. Pulling all light into it and expelling a shadow rather than light. Oh, okay, I see. I was gonna say Yeah, so there's stuff like Paint 2.0 or Black 2.0 or 3.0 or what's the other black called, Monsoon Black or whatever. So for that purpose, you can try that. That's going to make this part really dark, and then I would just try mixing in more and more black, or how to say, yeah, just mix in more and more black into the red and just start like around here, and start maybe by adding 1 part black and 5 parts red, or 1 part black and 4 parts red, and then as you go closer just add more and more black and cover less and less area, just or use an airbrush like with a transparent black ink, and start here by applying a more consistent layer and then thin the black a bit more. Yeah, so those will be 2 approaches, the one with the brush and the other one with the airbrush. It's going to look nice. Wait, where's my chat gone? I just need to bring that up so I can read it. Put this over here. Why do I have to be at work? I'm at work too. Don't know how to salvage it. Maybe try getting some of these thinner, or what's hard, like these smaller dots in there. Like if you can get a lot of these smaller ones in there, then the really bright ones are not going to be that in your face. Okay, wait, did I already open that? Why does it open in this one? This is complicated. Okay, here we go. So you were saying X in the color. No, X in this color. Oh, okay. A brass copper. I gave him pale purplish skin and I just think it's boring. I blocked in the color on the X roughly, but I could push it further. The other X in copper with the green would also be a cool contrast. Okay, so basically trying to figure out how to paint the X. It doesn't bother me too much in the... Or wait, are we talking about the other one? So I feel like since you have an OSL on this side, I would probably make sure to paint this axe a bit darker than this, because I mean, I always say that when you do OSL, make sure that you're not being too bright. Like OSL on this side would clash with the very bright highlight, right? But since over here you are a bit darker with the reds, I would go for the same thing. So if you did a very similar color to this, just make sure that it's darker. So maybe just focus on the edges, focus the highlights on the edges, and make it like a blacker, darker metal. I wouldn't necessarily give it a color, right? So just try to go for some black, blue, a very dark one, and really have the OSL play on that part. So that's what I would do, at least. I mean, the pale skin is maybe not the, how to say, most exciting idea, but I don't necessarily think it takes away from the paint job. You wanted to give it maybe a bit more of a healthier skin tone, but honestly, I don't think it drags it down. Maybe it's just looking a tiny bit too close to this axe, like color-wise. Black is black or black 2.0. Oh, I thought you were using a toothbrush. Sorry, I would have recommended it, but I thought you were already using one. My bad. Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, so I'm not sure if that is a feedback request, but when you do this, so I think you sponged on the yellow, the really bright off-white yellow chips first, and then you painted in the brown, which is a nice way to do it. But I would always recommend, how to say, I mean, it doesn't always work because, for example, here you can't do the lower edge, but on parts like these, I would try really focusing the dark chips on the inside more towards the upper area, and then having a really small sliver of white showing below. So maybe here it's a bit more evident. Yeah, just pulling these darker chips up more into the white. Or here when you have where is it? Yeah, so when you have these parts where there's a large surface and then smaller chips on the outside, also make sure that you do have like small, really small dots in some of these. Like up here maybe I would have done it, and then a lot more in here, and not just one, I would say, not just one giant coherent mass of this brown part, but more like, yeah, again, maybe try using a very small sponge and creating a bit more variety, more chips of the brown here. Yeah, another thing that's a bit problematic is that your color isn't covering in some parts. So now we have the white parts shining through, and I guess you could argue that, okay, there's still some of that white paint on top of it, but I would try getting them really consistent, because that's obviously the layer that is below both these yellow paints, and it should show. Or read as that, let's put it that way. Okay, so that's not a request, but let's look at it anyway, because it's a really nice effect, I'd say. So especially this one, I feel like it looks really good. Here I'm kind of missing the glow, so what I would do here is try to get more of a blue, like a light blue between the transitions. Because why this one reads both as hot and glowing is because there's a lot of yellow in there. So you're kind of missing that blue that would be the yellow here. And it basically goes from white to black or dark blue. So you need that transition. Or a bit more blue in your transition, like a light blue. Wait a second. So, okay, we talked about this one. Maybe a good view from the side. Okay, but that's like an early stage. But yeah, generally this looks really good. I like it a lot. Okay, what would be a good color for bat damage here? Trying to help a friend. Okay. I would just honestly mix it up. So for the blues, you can either have some metallic chipping, but I would go for a bright blue on the edges, And then for the metallics, I would just chip it in the respective metallic colors. So silver for this. You could also do silver for the brass, but maybe a brighter brass, and then here and there just silver. But yeah, pretty straightforward. Just use whatever color, whatever the color the element is, you should also chip it in my opinion. Thinking, yeah, but since it's dark, you can do metallics on all of the elements. If it was bright, more like a bright blue, I would definitely only go for dark, a dark chipping color, and then do metallics on all of the metal parts. But that way you have the two options, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, so guys talked about this, but what you can also do is you don't necessarily need to do some pre-shading. Try getting, you can use a sepia ink, or they used to be called chestnut inks, or just a straight up, what are the colors called, like a bestial brown, something like that, and glaze it into the shadows. It's going to make for an interesting orange brown yellow transition. But yeah, just try to do something with your depths. So I feel like the highlights are fine, or the highlights here on the chest. Don't go too much into white, but they're significantly brighter than the other yellow parts. And then just try adding, you can do a glaze or a wash, yeah, with something that is similar to bestial brown. I'm struggling with the non-metallic metal copper to read very coppery. Shoulder spikes and lens effects are still work in progress. Any tips? Okay. On first sight, this doesn't look bad. Yeah, so the what has helped me more or the most with trying to get an interesting copper color is using less of an orange highlight color or mid-tone and using more like a salmon color. I don't have a paint here. So what you can try to do is mix brown with a skin tone, like like a really rosy skin tone color, or what else makes a salmon? I mean, there's a lot of salmon colors that exist. So for example, AK has salmon. I would just add a bit of brown there, just again going away a bit from the orange and moving more into that salmon pink color helps a lot. Is your Discord members only? It's you can join it. There's a couple of areas like public gallery and all of that. There's areas for the Ogre Myrmidon. Yeah, basically there's public areas and private areas, and obviously the gallery for feedback is private. But yeah, going more into salmon and really not losing that mid-tone color too much. Helps a lot. It doesn't look bad. I wonder what's going on like down here. Yeah, maybe just really making sure that there's a lot of that mid-tone color and maybe not that many like dark parts. Like for example here, I like it a lot, and then here only the highlights are kind of missing, at least on these parts. But for example here you have good portion of that brownish, orangish mid-tone, and then the highlight looks really nice. And also the shadow looks super dark. I like it. It's just... what is the problem here? Yeah, I think maybe the mid-tones are just a bit too desaturated. Like even if you use this color or want to use this color, sorry. Yeah, maybe just make that wider. Because there's really parts that I really like. Like this part, maybe if that highlight was further up here and then there's a bit more orange. Yeah. I feel like your midtones are kind of too desaturated for some reason. Either too much brown or too much of the white kind of sneaked in for some reason. What is this? Okay, sorry, just moving on. Yeah, so we already talked about this one. Maybe one thing for the armor, but you said that wasn't the focus. Maybe try having or not having, yeah, such a hard, I would say, have more of a transition between the main color of the armor and the reflections. So more of a dark red part here, and you're just working over it with a dark red part. Yeah, placement I find really interesting and it works. Just these transitions. Same for the blue, but other than that, I like it. Something different, but I enjoy looking at that because everything's kind of in place. It's just some effects I'm not 100% buying, right? And that's the main thing that could improve it. I like how you don't sugarcoat things and you're honest with people about their painting. I mean, if you're not honest, then no one's going to improve. And you can be honest without being a dick about it. And that's why I always say, please give me something where you want to be so I can push you in that direction, right? I'm not sure if this is against the rules, but these were my first and second attempts, so I definitely think it's mostly just grinding. Wait, what's against the rules? Wait, did you just post that for reference? Oh, so he's trying to show improvement. I mean, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, let's see. Proud of the progress I made on this guy, but no, it's certainly not to the level of most here. I mean, that's not true. There's people of all levels on the Discord. By the way, I was gonna ask Alex if it was okay that I post that he was in my feedback level on Patreon 2 years ago. For a while. I actually worked on one of his Golden Demon entries during that feedback session, the Helbrecht that was transformed into an Iron Warrior. We talked about that one a lot. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't see anything that's kind of wrong. So as far as colors goes, everything's in its place. I like the brown oranges for the shadows and how it goes, transitions into yellow, and then you have a good brightness, good contrast. I mean, here and there you could have more edge highlights, right, and some definition on these parts. Like back here, you kind of lost the trail a bit, what to do, but just painting the outline right maybe could have helped. And I feel like some parts maybe need to be darker. So if you looked at the Golden Demon results, the guy that painted a very what's the name? More like a copper armor for this guy. He has a very similar colors still, and he goes to some darker shadows that could look, or that will maybe give it the last ditch that's going to make it look perfect. But it's looking really good so far. Oh yeah, that was cool. He was painting for Carl Casey, of which music is playing in the background, and I use it a lot for my videos. And he was going for that, what is it? That album cover, or that was one of his YouTube thumbnails that had a very psychedelic color scheme. I mean, oh yeah, the plasma playlist that he has, yeah. So I don't have like much to add. I don't think anything I can say is going to make it better. It's just a really cool piece. Which again, it's probably not that easy to do, having, you know, transitions of colors, like transitioning this purple magenta, pink magenta into orange and yellow is really difficult. Like over here it worked really nicely. Maybe it was just maybe a tiny bit too much to do that perfect blend on any area, right? But it shows perfectly well that he can do it, especially here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's looking really, really good. Yeah, just all the bright parts, or yeah, what we perceive as really bright parts versus the dark parts and the magenta areas that make it look super gaudy. I like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna like say anything here. It looks really, really good. Would be cool to know which tutorial they follow. Oh, this one. Okay, I see. Wait, is that me? No, that's not me. And that's my doorbell. Give me a second. In the word of Matthew, very neat. Yeah, so I feel like here and there, just having brighter highlights will make this look even better. Like on the browns, I feel like it's nice, and on the black too. Don't think I would go any brighter there, but just on the reds, like a salmon pink could work. And you could even lean into orange a tiny bit, like ice yellow. Yeah, That's what I would do. It would be interesting to know what video that is. But just, yeah, I would just really, especially on these edges facing up, that would be the only thing that I would add, honestly. That will also make the battle damage stand out a bit more, because then you have a transition from these darker parts into the battle damage, and then you still have the edges come out a bit more and be distinguished from the battle damage. How do you submit a mini? So there's anyone that is on the Discord, or that not is on the Discord, that is a supporter, can access the why is that? Hold on. So what's going on? Oh, okay. Sorry. That screen was blown up for some reason. Yeah, so here's the channel, the gallery for this gallery for feedback channel. If you are a supporter on any platform, then you can access it as long as you have your accounts linked. Oh, we already had that. Okay, so just a little idea. Okay, I mean, it looks cool. There's like a crackle effect. I dig it. Also like the edges that are weathered. So I tried doing that down here too. Yeah, other than that, it looks really great. I want to paint one more of these. I feel like the one that I painted for YouTube, I wasn't super happy, especially how the armor turned out. I feel like I didn't have like a super clear idea. And I've seen a lot of different versions now already that look really, really cool. And trying to get a Grimdark Dante. Any ideas for true metallic gold? Yeah, so people ask me all the time what I would do for Grimdark Golds, and I honestly have no idea. But the question is, so here you definitely just need to add some like really deep shadows. I wonder if this is the photo or if you... It looks like you painted... Wait, did you paint the highlights here? This looks super cool. Like just having the highlights in here with really sharp lines. I don't know if I would want to grime that up. But yeah, just first thing would probably be an oil wash to darken the recesses, and then... Honestly, I don't know. How do you do Grimdark Gold? Probably just using brown tones and making sure that everything is dulled down, and then just here and there have the gold come through, like on very exposed parts, but making it really super muted, like inks and or contrast paint or whatever you want to do. Nah, maybe not contrast paint. So when I really want to dull down steel, what I'm doing is I'm using a matte gray, very dark matte gray, and I wash over it so that the whole color just gets a film or filter of this gray, and then just really dulls everything down. I tried to do something similar for the gold, and then just have nicks of this really bright gold coming through. I think that can probably work, and it's probably the best approach, but I haven't figured out the best approach yet. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't look bad, right? It looks really good. Nothing wrong with it. So as far as volumetric highlighting goes, you can create the, well, I mean, you basically did that, right? So you have panels, and the panels kind of look different on the outside, or this here, as it goes down, it goes darker. So you can just use that effect, or you know, just however way you want to define it, and that already looks really good. So honestly, I would not change anything here. I mean, this works. Yeah, again, just distinguishing the panels a tiny bit. So maybe, yeah, here this is getting brighter, this panel is getting brighter towards the upper area, also here, and then here you have darker parts, and then maybe the idea would be to have a very similar thing here. So maybe this one needs to be brighter technically in a volumetric approach, but also here this looks good enough to me. Not better than good enough. More than just good enough. You could think maybe of making this part up here a bit brighter, just in general, to hold on. Sorry. Yeah. That would be the only thing. I mean, even the lenses look amazing. And the effect back here. Yep. Nice. Agrics or shade goes brew. Guanidago for the Bolton tutorial. I see. Yeah, so unfortunately I gotta wrap it up. We have some left, but I'm gonna do that next time. I'm a bit behind on these. But yeah, next Monday, next stream, I'm going to hopefully be able to stick to the schedule again. For now, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Hope you had some fun. Thanks for keeping me company while I struggled with this scheme. And yeah, I'll see you on Monday, guys. Next Monday. Thanks a lot for the support. A lot of donations and people joining the Patreon. So yeah, thanks for that. Absolutely helps a lot. Sorry, my son is talking to me from upstairs, so I'm distracted. But yeah, thanks a lot for the support, guys, and I'll see you next Monday.